Hey everyone, recently I made a video, this one right here, about the new Affinity by Canva. I go over all the tools, why it's free and everything. In this video, I want to show you how to use some of those tools in the vector side. I'm going to show you how to create this design right here. And it's actually a popular design. Here are some examples on Amazon. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use some of those tools to make that design. And you're going to learn all these things. The text tool, the circle tool, how to use the crop tool, type on a path, actually on a circle, change the baseline of your text, grouping elements, using the erase feature, coloring, and creating strokes, and many more things. So hopefully this video is really helpful for you. You can see how to use it in practice and actually make something for t-shirts or for Amazon. So great video. I'm going to go into Affinity right now and I'll show you exactly how to do this step by step. All right, so here we are in Affinity. The first thing you're going to do is go to File. Well, you're going to double click on your Affinity app. You'll see this, and then go to File and New. And then I have a preset here. If you don't have a preset, if you did this for the first time, you may not have this. So you can come in here and type in 4500 by 5400 and then create document. So there you go. And then it's going to pull up something like this. Now, I'm going to open up one of my older files. It'll be exactly the same here, but the difference is that I'm going to have the finished product on here. So let me do that now. All right, so this is what we're trying to do right here. So limited edition, vintage 83. Of course, you can change all of these words. I'm just showing how to do the layout, but you can change this. Of course, this is text, this is text, this is text. All of it is going to be text. It's not a PNG, so you can edit it as you want. So it doesn't have to say vintage 83. It could say whatever. You don't have to use these colors. So we're going for kind of the basic of it. So if you have one on here, I'm going to zoom out so we can see both of it. Holding down the shift bar or the space bar, you can see I have the hand here. You can also use this hand right there and do the same thing. Now I'm going to add an artboard. We can go to the artboard tool right here, click, and I'm going to drag it like this. Now I like my artboard 4500 by 5400. You'll have to find the transform tool or transform palette, I guess, and mine's down here. Yours may be one of these up here. If you don't see it here, you can click on this button and you'll see panels, and you can click on panels and then turn on the panels. I guess that's what these are called, panels. So you can see transform is on and we have it here, but if I turned it off, it's not there. But if I turn it back on, there it is. Okay, so that's how you turn on and off panels. And you're going to want to make this 4500 by 5400. Boom, boom, and hit enter each time. All right, I'm going to cover it up with my face again. Boom. All right, so we're going to try and duplicate this. I'll show you all the exact steps. First things first, let's draw a circle. So we're going to go to the circle tool. It's under the rectangle tool. You'll click this and then see the ellipse tool. I say circle tool, but it's really an ellipse because you can make ovals and things like that. So click on the ellipse tool, and now you can draw a circle. You can see it doesn't, by default, it's not a circle, but if you hold down shift when you're doing this, so holding the shift button down and dragging, you'll actually get a circle. So your circle may be black, it may be white. I'll show you how to change the color here. And you can continue to hold down shift and grab the corners and make it big enough. So we're going to go for that size in the artboard. Now let's change the color first. So we're going to go color. We're going to go no color in the fill. You can see fill and stroke, these two right here. So fill, clicking on that, I'm going to go no fill. And on stroke right here, now that I clicked on this, I'm changing the color of the stroke. Actually don't want to change the color, but I do want to change the size of the stroke. So we're going to go to the stroke panel here, and then we're going to go maybe 10. Yeah, I think 10's fine. So one way to center this is you can click on the move tool right here, move tool, and then you can move it and center it, but it's hard to tell where the center is. So what I like to do is I like to align it. So you may not have this at the top here, and if you don't, what you want to do is right click on this area right here and you can see customize toolbar, and you're going to see a line right here. You can just drag it up into there. Now I'm not going to drag it twice because I already have it. You see it right there, but that's what I did to get it up there. So we can click out of this, hit done. Now I'm going to center align it right here. See, align horizontal center, and that's going to align horizontal center in the artboard. So you can see if I moved it way over here and hit this align horizontal center, boom, center of the artboard. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is draw a smaller circle. So one thing we can do is we can either do the ellipse tool again, or we can copy this and make a smaller one. So I'm going to do that. Since we know how to draw the circle, let's do the second one. So I already have the circle here. You can see in my artboard tool, I'm going to close down artboard 1. In artboard 2, there's a circle. I can click on that and hit Command J right there. And then I have 2. So I'm going to click on the bottom one here and holding down Shift at the same time, grabbing the corners, and I'm going to make it smaller. I'm also going to grab this corner here, make it smaller. Now we're just eyeballing it. So we can kind of try and put it in the center of here and kind of make it the size that we want, kind of about that same size as this rainbow circle here. I'll show you how to do that in a bit. And now again, if it's off center or whatever, you can now grab both of these, select both of these. So grab your move tool, click on your mouse and drag over both of these by selecting both of these. Or you could just click on one and click on the other and make sure they're both selected. You'll see that in the layers panel here. And now I can align them to each other. So I can align horizontal centers, boom, and also I can align vertical centers, boom, so they're right in the middle of each other, and that's what we want. Now, next thing we're gonna do is add the text. So I'm gonna go to the text tool right here, artistic text tool, click on it, click here on the artboard and start typing. Depending on what font you have, they will look different, but I'll show you what font I'm going to use. I'm going to do Vintage, capital VINTAGE. This font is called Aerates Script. Now I got that from, I think, myfonts.com, and I paid for it, but you can get whatever script font you want. You can do that there. Now you notice it looks a little different, and that's because of the color stroke thing, the fill stroke. So fill, I want it black. So I'm going to do 100, 100, 100. I'm using CMYK here. You may, at your default, may be on RGB or RGBX or one of these. Choose CMYK if you want to follow along, and just do CMYK. And for the stroke here, we're just going to go no stroke. All right. And then we're going to turn it. We can turn it with this right here, just to give it a little bit of interest there. And then I don't want it to break out of the circle. So you see the E's breaking out of the circle as well as the V right there. So I'm just going to move that up a little bit. I'm going to type again. Let's do this text tool and click here. And then I'm going to do apostrophe 83. There you go. And click on the move tool, move it down here, and I can also tilt that just a little bit right there. Now, of course, you don't have to do 83. You don't have to even do vintage. You could put a name. I think some of them had the word Papa or Mama, or it could be a place. You could do Boston or whatever. The idea is something about this size. This has 7 letters. I think that works really well. Of course, it's going to be bigger if you did like something like Papa. Let me show you what I mean. So it's only 4 letters, so then you're going to have to use the move tool and make this bigger like this, right, to take up more space. So that a smaller word would take up more space, a longer word would take up less space. So I'm going to do Command Z to go back. Command Z, keep hitting that until we back to the place that we wanted. There we go. Vintage 83. So we're in a good spot here. Not exactly like this, but it's close, right? There. All right, and I've put 83 inside the circle. The next thing I think that it's really cool that you can do is you can type on a circle. So we're going to use the type tool, but first we're going to duplicate this circle right here. So you'll notice in the layers panel, this circle right there is the bottom or the inside circle. I'm going to duplicate it by hitting Command J like this. You'll notice there's two now. This one we'll keep. This top one we're going to use as a text or path for text. So having that selected, go to my text tool here, artistic text tool, click on it, and you're going to notice a difference. When I hover over it, instead of an A like this, you're going to see it change. And I wish it was more prominent, but just click on it like that, and you'll notice that it gives you this blinking line here. That means that you can type on it. So I'm going to type in the letter L. You can see that's really big. I'm going to double click on it to select it, or drag to select it. You'll know it's selected by this light blue. I'm going to change the font first of all. So my font that I'm using here is called the Foreign Rough one right here, the Forgin Rough one. So I'm going to click on that, and I need to make it smaller because it's way too big. It's breaking out of the circle. So I'm going to make 100 for now. I'm going to come up here and click on it. I can also just do this drop down, but there's no 100 in the drop down. So I'm going to click on it just once. Let me do that, 100, and then hit enter. And there you go. So I think that's fine. I'm going to start typing limited edition like that. I can move it with this red triangle right here. And you can also move it up and down, and that's going to be the baseline. So we're going to select all of these, and you'll see the baseline right here. Right now it's at 0%. I can click on this and move it up and down. So moving it this way goes down, moving it this way goes up. And I may want to make it bigger. So I'm just eyeballing it now, but I have some space on the right and on the left. I could highlight this whole thing and make it maybe 110 and then hit enter. Boom, and then move these triangles again to kind of center it. I'm just eyeballing it to see, is there the same space on the top as there on the bottom? It looks like the bottom has more space, so I'm going to double click on this and move my baseline a little more down. You see that? So there you go. So whichever you feel comfortable with. Again, you don't have to say limited edition. You can type whatever you want in here. But we're basically centering it, just eyeballing it to make sure that the left and right have about the same amount of space, that the top and bottom have the same amount of space. And if you need to make it smaller to fit the words, you can change the size of it. Now, I said double click on it. Yeah, so let's get rid of this one. It's pulling up. Okay, so when you double click on it, it brings it here for some reason. If you want to get rid of that, you can double click on it again and it puts it back on here. So just be careful when you do this. You don't need to double click. You can just single click on here to change the size. Now, we also have text on the bottom here. So I'm going to show you how to do that real easy. So the way to do that is we have this limited edition and you see it in the layers here. We're going to do copy again and paste, or duplicate, I should say, the Command J. So Command J, and you'll see limited edition again here, top and bottom. Now we can take either one. I'll take the bottom one here and then use my text tool and move that triangle. So you'll see the copy, the bottom one, is now on the bottom. Now we'll have to move both of these triangles. So I'm going to move that one and then this one here. But you'll notice one thing, that it's upside down. And this isn't upside down. So we're going to double click on this again and go to the baseline. But instead of baseline, we're going to do this. And this is reverse text path. So click on this arrow kind of thing that looks kind of like a fish hook. Click on it and you'll notice now it's the right side up. But the baseline has changed, or at least it's now way up here. So we're going to have to change the baseline and move it down. So we can see, we can move it down. And then we can, because this is text, we can double click on it and change the text to whatever we want. So I'm going to just type what I have here, mostly original parts. And we're going to have to move this again. You can see this one's too big. So one thing we can do is double click on it and make it smaller than 110 points. Click on it, click on the size here, maybe do 100 and then hit enter. And that looks like that's small enough to move around. Boom. Very cool, but you notice top and bottom are not right. So I'm gonna double click on it again, move the baseline, and move it so it's 100%. There you go. Now, what would happen if 100% is not enough? Well, one thing you can do is make the circle bigger. Remember, it's on a circle, so I can grab here, hold down Shift, and maybe shift it up a little bit, shift it this way a little bit, and then that way it'll move it. So, because you can't go more than 100% baseline, so you're gonna have to make your circle bigger to fit. But there you go, that looks really great. Just a couple more things we need to do. First, change the color and then do the rainbow thing. Let's do the rainbow thing first. So this circle right here that's in the bottom, inside, this one right here, you see that? Let's double click on it and make this smaller circle. Like that, we can name it. Okay, so by turning that off, you'll see that it's gone here. But what we actually wanna do is we wanna break it up into 5 different colors. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna click on this circle right here, and then I'm gonna do a crop, or click on the crop tool right here. What is it called? Vector crop tool, all right? And then I'm gonna crop it so that it's just up here like this, okay? And then I'm gonna color it. So instead of a stroke here, I'm gonna take out the stroke and make the color of it red, like that. Boom. Now, we're gonna copy this and move the crop line so that it makes this kind of pattern here, or this kind of vintage sunset, we like to call it. So this smaller circle, since I'm on it, I'm gonna hit Command J, all right, and pick the bottom one here, and then move the crop. I'm still in the crop tool, and I'm gonna move the crop lines down and down. So you can see now we have that line right there. You see that? So move it just below the one that we had. And this one, we can kind of eyeball it just like that. And then we're gonna do the same thing 3 more times. So Command J, pick the bottom one here, move the crop lines down and down. There you go. Kind of eyeball it here. Do it again, Command J, move the crop lines down and down here like this. And last one, Command J, pick the bottom one. I don't think we picked the bottom one the last time, but we'll move it down here. All right, so we want to kind of have an even amount of space in between here. So that is what we're shooting for. You notice that one's not enough, so let's find that one. I think it's this one. Yeah, so it's this one, and we'll move the crop lines down just a little bit like that. There you go. Now we need to change the color though, so let's make sure these are all in the right place. I think this one goes here, and there you can kind of see the circle in the layers panel. So red, this one I made kind of an orange, so like that. This one I made kind of a yellow, so something like that, maybe a little bit of orange or a little bit of cyan, something like that. This one I made more green, so we can do green without any magenta, right? Or maybe a little less. And then this last one on the bottom, I did more of a cyan color here, but you can choose whatever colors you want. There you go. So that's how easy it is to make that vintage color. The next thing we want to do is put it on a black background. And so then we're going to have to reverse the colors. So clicking on Artboard 2, I'm going to change the background. You can see there is no background right now. Oh, let's make sure we're in the Move tool. Okay, clicking on Artboard 2, no background. We're actually going to make a black background. So let's do dark gray so we can kind of see first. So there's kind of a grayish one. And we're going to make sure all this text here, we can select this, and holding down Shift, all of this text right here, we're going to change them all at once, and we're going to just change it to white. Oh, actually, I think I picked more than the text. I picked the circle. The circle doesn't need to be white. Let's turn that off. Make the stroke white. There we go. There we go. And then the last thing you'll notice is there's this outline here. So, oh, and my stroke is not as thick. So we can change the thickness of this stroke here by going thinner or thinner. Thicker or thinner. I kind of like it, the thickness that we had. Okay, so last thing, I forgot about this. We're going to group everything. So we're going to group the text first, vintage 83 and vintage and 83. Select those two in the layers and hit Command G to group. So you can see there's a group. And we're also going to group all these colors as well as the words and the circle all in one. So all of these, hold down Shift and select all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that, and hit Command G. Now what we want to do is put an outline on the vintage 83. So let me show you how to do that. We're going to click on this one. I'm going to hit Command J. And right now, the bottom one doesn't have a stroke. Neither of them have a stroke, but we're going to add a stroke. And the stroke is going to be, let's make the stroke blue so we can see it, like that. Now, I'm going to actually make it black now so that, or at least the same color as the background. Let's see if black, yeah, black works. And so we kind of want that amount of thickness. But the problem is if we leave that color there, when we change the background color of it, you're going to see that black outline. And we don't want to see that black outline. So the way to do that is to take this one that has the outline and group it with the one that's on the bottom. So select these two and hit Command G. Now we're going to open up that group, click on this group here, and we're going to erase that group from the top. So the way to do that is hit this right here, pass through, go to erase right here. You'll notice that it's already gone, and boom. So now this can work on any color, not just black, but different colors. If we had it on red as the background t-shirt, it will still look like it's knocked out. So there you go. That's how you do it. Hopefully this video is really helpful for you. Now you know how to use some of these tools, and you can type text in a circle and type things over and have an outline with it, and use the vintage sunset with different colors, and type on a circle, and all those things you just learned just by doing this one. And it's a really cool design that's very popular on t-shirts right now anyway, so you can make it your own, change up things, change the words, use different fonts, and so on. So there you go. There is a quick tutorial on Affinity by Canva using a lot of the different tools, and it's actually something that you can use and learn how to do other things with it. That text on a circle actually works really well on many things, and now you know what the baseline is and all these things. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments if you see a t-shirt design or any design that you want to learn how to do in Affinity by Canva. Let me know that in the comments. Send me a link and we can make a video for it, and I can show you exactly how to use it. Thanks again for watching. If you want to see that video that I talked about where I go over each of the tools on there and what they do, you can watch this video right here. It tells you all about the new Affinity by Canva. Thanks again for watching, and as always, keep creating and keep learning. I'll see you on the next one.